I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism.
There's a lot of things clearly I need to do better, and I'm always going to work. I know that.
Whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter. But it does matter, so we can try to fix the problem.
The New England Patriots officially made a decision on their starting QB for next year. It's a decision that isn't going to make a lot of Patriots fans happy, but believe it or not, it is the right decision. And we're going to discuss why in just a sec. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat if you want to check out our short form content as well. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! This is the easiest way to make $150 now. All Christian McCaffrey needs in the NFC Championship is one rush yard, which means he's pretty much a free square on PrizePicks. All you have to do is download PrizePicks, use my promo code Mikerophone to double your deposit up until $100, and then make these picks. I got Isaiah Pacheco scoring 1 touchdown and Harrison Butker making more than 1.5 field goals. Isaiah Pacheco has scored 1 touchdown over the last 5 games. Harrison Butker has been on a field goal frenzy, and I placed $24 to make $150, which are incredible odds. I post my picks for free on a daily basis on my Instagram and Snapchat story, and thank you PrizePicks for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Jerod Mayo, who is the brand new head coach of the New England Patriots, who without a doubt was the right hire for the New England Patriots, recently had his introductory press conference for the Patriots. And this was a very controversial press conference, primarily because a lot of fans were upset at Mac Jones for something he did at this press conference. But in addition to that, he had some interesting things that Jerod Mayo said, such as this.
I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter, so we can try to fix the problem that we all know we have.
I'm going to choose my words very carefully here because I think it's a huge point of emphasis to mention that I think Mayo was the right hire for the Patriots job. 1, it's not a coveted job at all whatsoever. 2, it's going to take a lot of patience to turn this team around, and it's a great opportunity to hire from within an individual that played underneath Bill Belichick and got some coaching experience underneath Bill Belichick, who could grow with this team, who agrees with the crafts, who's a very hard worker, who's an accomplished NFL player, although his career was cut short unfortunately to injury. A Patriots great and a Super Bowl champion. With that aside, I just think it's a little interesting to mention how you see color or bring up race in an instance where the New England Patriots elevated you a little prematurely. It's very atypical to see a position coach automatically get elevated to a head coach. I mean, typically you'll see offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators get hired, and maybe in rare cases, in the case of John Harbaugh or Joe Judge, you'll see a special teams coach get hired. So you don't typically see a team looking at a QB coach or an inside linebacker coach and saying,
hey, we're going to make this guy the head coach.
So I guess maybe I just don't get the angle, because here's an insane opportunity that no coach typically gets, getting elevated from position coach to head coach. And I felt like it was an interesting time to bring up race. But I don't know, maybe I'm just racist. You can let me know in the comment section down below. But that wasn't the only thing that went on in the press conference that pissed a lot of people off. You see, Mac Jones made an appearance at this press conference, and his sheer appearance at the press conference pissed off his teammates. It's insane, but that's actually what the headline is. According to Greg A. Bedard, Patriots teammates were not happy with Mac Jones's appearance at head coach Jerod Mayo's press conference. Team source, everyone watched him play. They've watched him act like a prima donna. The team is sick of it. Everyone's sick of it. He was in his workout gear, which is ironic since he cleared his entire locker at the end of the season. Not a single hanger, completely empty. I mean, come on, man. So I'm assuming people were upset that Mac Jones was there after he gave gave the indication that they're moving on from Mac Jones. Or maybe he felt like New England Patriots were moving on from him. And to be honest, I wouldn't really blame him for feeling that way. This past year, he played really bad football. I mean, career worst football, completing 65% of his passes, throwing for 10 TDs to 12 interceptions. But I've gone out to bat for Mac Jones many times before. This man had no offensive line, no one to throw to. The only other weapon on offense was Ramondre Stevenson. And according to a lot of reports, it seemed like Bill Belichick didn't really get along with Mac Jones. There was that initial report that he tried to trade Mac Jones after Mac Jones reached out to Alabama for help because Bill Belichick made Matt Patricia his offensive coordinator after Josh McDaniels left to ruin the Las Vegas Raiders. There's this other report about how Bill Belichick had a deal in place to trade Mac Jones, but Patriots ownership vetoed the trade per ESPN. And here's the crazy thing about following the Patriots. I've covered a lot of teams before, but the New England Patriots are a different level in terms of reporters digging deep and finding crazy stuff that Bill Belichick did. And I don't know what to believe and what not to believe, because there's been times where Bill Belichick has been a genius with roster construction, such as what he did to the New York Jets last year during the NFL draft, which without a doubt screwed them, trading down with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers selected Broderick Jones, and then as a result, the New York Jets selected Will McDonald when they didn't really need Will McDonald as badly as they needed Broderick Jones. Bill Belichick would then trade back to number 17 and select Christian Gonzalez. But then there are times where he does something really head-scratching. I mean, the man quite literally took Sony Michel over Lamar Jackson when he was looking elsewhere for a brand new QB. You can make an argument that the New England Patriots still had Tom Brady at the time, but he took N'Keal Harry over Deebo Samuel, AJ Brown, and DK Metcalf. So there are times where Bill Belichick truly made some head-scratching decisions, but like you'll see crazy rumors about Bill Belichick that you don't really know if you could believe. Like this, for instance, apparently if Bill Belichick was allowed to trade Mac Jones this past offseason and was not vetoed by Patriots ownership, he would have pursued signing Baker Mayfield. It's just crazy to think of this because I know Baker Mayfield had an incredible season this past year, but to think that he desperately wanted Baker Mayfield over Mac Jones last offseason, and bear in mind where Baker Mayfield was last offseason compared to Mac Jones, is absolutely insane. So there's a lot of reports like this, and I don't necessarily blame Patriots fans for having enough of Mac Jones because there were times where he came off as a prima donna or you just felt a lot of empathy for him, like this press conference where he damn near broke into tears because he was playing so badly.
I always use the bye week to evaluate myself and the team and everything I can do better. And there's a lot of things clearly I need to do better, and I'm always going to work. I know that.
At the end of the day, the New England Patriots had a horrific season, one of their worst seasons in the past 2 decades, which was good enough to land them within the top 3 of this year's NFL draft. And this year's NFL draft isn't just any NFL draft. This year's NFL draft has
The greatest NFL prospect since Andrew Luck,
Caleb Williams. But then on top of that, you have Drake May, that's probably going to go at number 2 overall. You have
the greatest wide receiver prospect since Calvin Johnson,
in Marvin Harrison Jr., which to be fair, I don't think that's a stretch by any means. We haven't seen as exciting of a wide receiver prospect since Calvin Johnson, and Marvin Harrison Jr. does generate that type of hype. So the Patriots have a lot of decisions to make, and a lot of their fan base is of the impression that Mac Jones is absolute garbage. And after watching him play this past year, I don't really blame Patriots fans for thinking that Mac Jones is absolute garbage. Just by taking a look at his lowlights from this past year, I wouldn't blame the Patriots for thinking Mac Jones was the problem with this team. At the same time, you have to remember that Mac Jones wasn't this terrible in his rookie season. And in his rookie season, he had more options than he currently has. Now, bear in mind, this was the season where the New England Patriots went 10-7 with Bill Belichick and Mac Jones under center. Back then, Mac Jones at least had an offensive coordinator that knew what he was doing, in addition to Jacoby Myers, which I guess upgraded the wide receiver room significantly from what it is now, in addition to Nelson Aguilar. And at the same time, it's not much, but it's significantly more than what they currently have. So a lot of New England Patriots fans are wondering what's happening with that number 3 overall pick. And it seems like Jerod Mayo is being very clear with what Mac Jones' future is going to be with the team. Earlier today, Jerod Mayo said that the confidence of a player is very fragile. There was enough blame to go around. Mac Jones and the coaching staff both made mistakes, and we were trying to help him with that confidence. So you don't really say that about a player that you're about to trade. You don't really have a lot of empathy for a player that you're about to trade. trade. You usually just stay quiet about said player. Kind of like how the Chicago Bears are right now with Justin Fields. And what really sealed it was at the same time, the very same day of Jerod Mayo's press conference that introduced him as the brand new head coach of the New England Patriots, he said this.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. What I will say is this. We're going to draft the best player for a position that is very important. You put the pieces together.
Now, you might be thinking,
Oh, Mike, he said we're going to draft the best player for a position that's very important. You put the pieces together. The quarterback's very important.
yeah, but no team's ever going to come out and straight up tell you, hey, this is what we're going to do with the number 3 overall pick. We're planning on trading up and selecting Jaden Daniels or trading up to the number 1 overall pick. Like I said in the beginning of this video, a huge reason why Jerod Mayo is the perfect candidate for this job is that the New England Patriots have so many problems on this roster that drafting a quarterback from the very beginning now, when you already have a quarterback under a rookie scale contract, is a huge waste. There's no reason to do that. Mac Jones's rookie contract expires in 1 year and 2 years if you want to exercise a 5th-year option on him. During that period of time where Mac Jones is being paid significantly less than the average QB in the NFL, you could one, evaluate him once he does have someone to throw to, like maybe Marvin Harrison Jr., or you get him an offensive tackle that will allow him to sit in the pocket and go through his progression significantly quicker, and build a team around him as opposed to just discarding him and trying to start all over again with a brand new QB. You could still start all over again with a brand new QB once the rookie contract expires, and if you're bad enough, you'll probably still be in the top 10 of the NFL draft. So in my opinion, I think this is the right call. There are so many parts of this team that needs to be addressed. Offensive line, wide receiver, defensive line. I mean, I don't think there's a single position that the Patriots have covered except maybe defensive back in the form of Christian Gonzalez and JC Jackson. And that's if they keep the same defensive scheme that Bill Belichick installed before leaving. So at this point, you might as well keep Mac Jones and see what happens when you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. for him. And what happens if you addressed offensive line during free agency. The New England Patriots have $70 million in cap space this year, so they can make significant upgrades to their roster in free agency. If you make all these upgrades to your roster and Mac Jones still regresses next year, then I think it's appropriate to move on from him at that point. But right now, I don't see any quarterback succeeding in these circumstances. And Mac Jones has already flashed his potential during the 2021 season. So at the end of the day, Mac Jones' future for this year has been decided. And props to Jerod Mayo and the New England Patriots because I think they're making the right decision so far. We're gonna have to leave the rest to seeing how the offseason shakes out. Do they go Marvin Harrison Jr. with the number 3 overall pick? Or do they trade down and maybe select Malik Neighbors? There's so many options that you could go in one of the most exciting drafts we've had in recent memory. But before we get to all of that, I want to know in the comment section down below if you agree with this decision that the Patriots are making. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, the Chicago Bears are probably going to be making a huge trade that pertains to the NFL draft. You guys may have missed this video because we had to upload like 3 videos in a span of a day because of the playoffs and the news. I'll leave it in the end screen and I'll catch you guys there. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.